Hey, what is going on, you guys? It is Mr. No Sleep here from Old School RuneScape, and welcome to a brand new loot video for you all today. So today I bring you guys loot from 3,000 temple spiders, and I have had this video done for a while now, but I haven't really had time to edit it until today, because I have been working on my biggest grind yet, being loot from 1,000 corporal beast, and you guys should see that video within the next 5 days, and all I'm going to say for that one is you're not going to want to miss it. So make sure to check the channel in less than a week from now. But getting back on track, you know, this 3,000 temple spider video was done on one of the alternate accounts while I was charging the glories on my main, and also I was killing ints on my Iron Man once I finished up the glories. The reason I say this is because the best thing about these temple spiders, no doubt about it, is they're very AFK, meaning you can be on multiple accounts while doing this monster, especially if you're an Iron Man and you want to stack up on all the useful drops that this monster does give. You can definitely get things done on your main simultaneously. And as you can see, they kind of stack up on each other alongside being AFK, so I did want to use Rune Light for this because there's just so many drops that you can just miss very easily. So I wanted to make sure that all the drops would be labeled on the ground, and that's also how I managed to track all 3,000 kills for this video, because unfortunately there's no Slayer log for this monster and they don't drop bones when you kill them, so the Bone Crusher is pretty much useless. So yeah, this is actually my first ever loot video where I only used Rune Light the whole time, and I wouldn't say I'll be doing that with the item overlays all the time because I personally don't like that. It's just for this video, especially not really paying much attention, it was really necessary. A little bit about the temple spiders. They were released into the game July 4th, 2019, and they're considered to be a more powerful variant of the deadly red spider. Found in the eastern section of the Forthos dungeon. These are just north of Sarachnis. If you guys didn't check out loot from 1,000 Sarachnis, these are pretty much the baby spawns of that monster, and you guys can check out that video in the description below if you missed it. Luckily for these spiders, you don't need any anti-poisons as you do with most spiders in RuneScape. However, they do have super anti-poisons on their drop table anyway, so it's pretty strange, but those super anti-poisons definitely stacked up over the course of 3,000 kills. And I will say something very interesting that I saw on the wiki is that the grubby key, which is 42k and considered to be the most expensive drop from these temple spiders, is a 1 in 100 drop rate. And as you guys will see when we get to the price check, I got much more than the expected drop rate of the grubby keys. And as with most monsters in this loot series, they do drop hard clue scrolls, which is 1 in 200 according to the wiki. However, I do think this is pretty inaccurate as well because, well, you'll see how many clues I got towards the end of the video. Out of all these loot videos, I gotta say, I think this is the very first one where the drop rate on the wiki was inaccurate. Or maybe I'm just incredibly lucky, but I think the odds of that are pretty out there, so I'm not too sure what's going on there. But if you have any idea, feel free to leave a comment below. I am curious as to how I got so much more than I was supposed to. Other than the grubby keys and the hard clue scrolls, temple spiders also drop a decent amount of alchables, which is why I brought 1,000 high alchs in my rune pouch. I decided that to save inventory space, I was going to high alch the adamant med helms as well as the long swords. And as goes for the rune items, you can alch those as well, those being the rune med helms and the daggers. But since this is a loot video, I did pick up all the daggers and the helms, and I did stack them up in the loot tab. For those of you who do have a herb sack and a gem bag, I do recommend that you bring both of those with you. The spiders do drop a lot of herbs. Unfortunately, most of them are low tier, but they do add up over time, as well as the gems, so if you want to save space, definitely bring the herb sack and the gem bag. Something also interesting and unique on the drop table is the amount of runes that these spiders drop. I'm not sure if there's a reason as to why spiders drop runes, but you can expect a wide variety of them, from air runes all the way up to natures and deaths. The rarest runes out of the drop table being the law rune and the soul rune, which is a 1 in 100 drop rate, but you don't get too many, it's just a quantity of 5. Regarding the seed drops, if you do have a seed box, I'd recommend that you bring that as well, something that I still don't have to this day. 80 loot videos later, but I will get one day. Hopefully. The best seed drop would be a Torstal seed, which is 1 in 17,000, and other than that, you will occasionally see Renars, some Snapegrass seeds, Snapdragon as well, which is about 1 in 3,400. Decent for Iron Man accounts for sure. The number one useful drop though from these temple spiders would be the noted red spider eggs, from amounts of 3 up to 5. These are incredibly useful for making super restores, and before these spiders came out, most Iron Men killed Venenatis for these eggs, which is incredibly difficult, or they just had to loot them in the edge Nashville dungeon, which is time consuming and not fun at all. At least here you get a little bit of everything. Runes, seeds, gems, clue scrolls, grubby keys. I mean, I will give Jagex props. They made this drop table not only unique, but useful. And of course, since this is the Forthos dungeon, you can expect some tattered moon, sun, and temple pages. Haven't really touched on them much because I might be doing a separate video for them one day, but I'm still kind of undecided on that. Regarding updates around these temple spiders, there was just one update on July 11, 2019, where the spider eggs were dropped in larger quantities. I'm not too sure how little the amount was before this update, but nevertheless, it was good to buff that. A little bit about the combat of the spiders. The max hit is a 6, and that might not seem too high, but when it is multi-combat and tons of them are attacking you at the same time, those 6s quickly add up, which is why I would recommend that if you plan to camp here for a while, bring prayer potions and prayer bonus gear so you don't have to worry too much about dying or anything like that. As it goes for Slayer, the Slayer Master, the only Slayer Master that assigns these to my knowledge is Terrail and Birth Rope, and if you do kill them on task, you will receive 70 Slayer XP. I did also manage to get a loop and a tooth key, which is 1 in 6,500, as well as a few Snapdragons and Renar seeds, them being uncommon as well. Did also have a Ring of Wealth equipped for this video, just like in the jellies, due to these temple spiders dropping coins pretty commonly at an amount of anywhere from 400 to 600. I gotta say, this drop table is incredible for such an easy monster to kill. Most of the time I was averaging over 100 to 150 kills per hour. It was hard to track this though because I kept getting so many clue scrolls, and anytime I would get a clue scroll I would bank right away, and thanks to Runelight I would complete the clue scroll very quickly. Also finally have all the stash units built on this account, which just increased the speed even more. As we near the price check though, I would definitely recommend, if you are an Ironman account, to check out these spiders if you're ever in need of red spider eggs, or if you just want to AFK and get some clue scrolls. It's not in the wilderness, it's 100% safe, and it's not that tedious. And finally, here we are at the price check. Loot from 3,000 temple spiders has been completed. As mentioned before, all these kills were tracked by Runelight. Pretty sure this is 100% accurate. There would be times where my client would crash or my PC reset and all the drops would reset, but usually I had all the amount of kills written down, and after the first 1,000 kills, that kind of gives you a pretty good idea of what 3,000 kills would look like. So yeah, looking at the bank tab, we have a lot of herbs, definitely a decent amount of coins from all the high alching as well as all the coin drops with that Ring of Wealth, and we are going to go ahead and price check everything. So yeah, let's get the rune items out, the gems, a lot of runes, almost 1,000 chaos and death runes, decent amount of nature runes, just about 230 laws and 200 souls as well, and 1,300 red spider eggs, which can translate to just about 1,300 super restores. But yeah, the first price check, everything included, does come out to be just about 3.3 mil. And now for the second price check, let's not forget that we do have to subtract the cost of the super combats and the prayer potions for any main accounts out there that are looking to be killing these spiders for profit, if you decide to do that. But yeah, the second price check, this is the remainder of the herbs, all of the seeds, 814k cash, and the pages aren't accounted for, but you can pretty much call that another 100k. 6 Renar seeds, a total of just about 1.3 mil from that price check. Again, a lot of low tier seeds and a lot of low tier herbs. I did pick up probably more than I should have for this video, but it is what it is. And moving on to the third and the final price check, 44 grubby keys, all of that coming out to be 1.8 mil. Looks like we got 14 more grubby keys than we should have, and the overall price check from 3,000 temple spiders does come out to be 6.4 mil. Pretty good for something that's so AFK. Let's not forget we still have 27 hard clue scroll caskets to open, so let's go ahead and do that now. Let's see if we get anything special. Really is crazy to see 27 caskets when I was only supposed to really get 15, so it's almost double the drop rate. Like I said in the very beginning of the video, either I must be very lucky, or I guess the wiki just seems to be off, but nevertheless, it's really not that big of a deal. And speaking of a big deal, one of these clue scroll caskets coming up does have something pretty special in it, that being a gilded med helm, 1 in 35,750. Yeah, I was pretty stunned. I mean, you gotta admit it does match the cape pretty well, but I was not expecting my first ever gilded item in this whole loot series to be on the alt account. But no complaints, and I mean, right after that we actually managed to get a glory tea, which isn't as rare but still pretty uncommon. So yeah, there you have it. It's not third age, thank God, but it is one step closer, so I was very happy to see that. Overall, the clue scroll rewards are pretty above average. I did accidentally have a master clue in the bank before I opened 10 of these hard caskets, and then I figured it out and I quickly did that, and then I got another master clue later on. So I did miss out on potentially more masters in the future. Of course, we are working on loot from 100 master clue caskets. I think right now I'm currently at either 13 or 14. It's a long process in the making, but it'll happen one day. And overall, from all of these clue scrolls, I did add up the exact amount, and it looks like we made just about 3.4 mil from 27 hard clue scrolls. As it goes for the cost of supplies for these temple spiders, I did use 91 prayer potions and 12 super combat potions. Not much at all, just comes out to be just about 1.3 mil. And if we add the 3.4 mil in clues to the 6.4 mil that we got from the overall video loot, then we do end up with 9.8 mil from 3,000 temple spiders. Minusing the supplies, we are walking away with 8.5 mil total. Most definitely a good AFK monster for Herblore for any Iron Man accounts, and a good monster that drops a lot of hard clue scrolls. So with all that being said, guys, I will see you in less than a week with loot from 1,000 Corporal Beast. Followed by that, you can expect 1,000 herb boxes, and then I'll be moving on to bigger and better things. So yeah, until next time, guys, thank you so much. Mr. No Sleep, out.